Picture this. 1910, a group of powerful financiers gather in secret. They're on Jekyll Island, a secluded retreat off the coast of Georgia. Their mission? To create the Federal Reserve, America's central bank. Sounds shady, right? Well, it gets shadier. This clandestine meeting was shrouded in secrecy, its details hidden from the public for years. Why all the cloak and dagger stuff? Because the Fed wasn't created to serve the people. It was designed to benefit a select few, the bankers. The Federal Reserve System, despite its official-sounding name, is not a government agency. It's a private corporation owned by its member banks. These banks, some of the wealthiest institutions in the world, essentially control the US money supply. They lend money to the government, charging interest on every dollar printed. This system, my friends, is what we call a sweet deal, if you're a banker. For the rest of us, it's a raw deal. We're talking about a system where the people who create the money also profit from it. The creation of the Federal Reserve was a pivotal moment in American history. It marked a shift in power, transferring control of the nation's finances from elected officials to unelected bankers. This shadowy beginning, shrouded in secrecy, continues to fuel suspicion and distrust in the Fed to this day. It's like a bad relationship. You can't move forward if you're still hung up on the suspicious way it all started. Here's a fun fact. The money in your pocket isn't actually worth the paper it's printed on. That's because it's fiat currency, backed not by gold or any tangible asset, but by the government's word. Think about that for a second. Our entire financial system is built on a promise. And as we all know, promises can be broken. The Fed has the power to create money out of thin air. Literally, they can just type numbers into a computer and boom, more money. Sounds great, right? Well, not so fast. Printing more money doesn't magically create more wealth. In fact, it does the opposite. When the money supply increases faster than the supply of goods and services, prices go up. This is called inflation, and it's essentially a hidden tax on everyone. Remember that $20 you used to buy a pizza with? Well, now it barely gets you a slice. Thanks, inflation. The Fed argues that it needs this power to manage the economy, to stimulate growth and control inflation. But critics argue that the Fed's track record is far from stellar. They point to periods of runaway inflation, economic bubbles, and financial crises as evidence of the Fed's failings. The truth is, the Fed's monetary policies often benefit the wealthy at the expense of everyone else. When the Fed lowers interest rates, it makes it cheaper to borrow money. This is great news for corporations and investors who can borrow cheaply and invest in assets that appreciate in value. But for the average person, it means their savings earn less interest, and they have to work harder to keep up with the rising cost of living. It's like a game of Monopoly where the banker keeps giving themselves extra money. Eventually, the whole thing collapses.